right, it's officially time. We're doing 30 minutes of live side split stretching starting right now. We are all about building consistency and community and building a little bit of momentum for ourselves towards the side splits. We have YouTube running, and we also have TikTok Live running at the same time right now. So if I'm ever not looking at you for some particular reason, that's why. All right, let's see. I'm gonna just double check. Mic is working. Other mic, I hope, is on, and we'll just have to have our fingers crossed for that. All right, let's get started. Today we are doing side splits like usual, nothing new. But I'm a little bit nervous because I'm looking at two different phones instead of one, as usual. We're going to get started with hip cars. Hip cars is all about moving your leg and hip through its full range of motion using muscle power. So cars stands for controlled articulated rotations. And what we're going to be doing is lifting the knee as high as possible, opening up the hip as wide as possible while keeping it high, then rotating that leg so that the ankle is as high as possible, preferably hidden behind that knee, while trying your best to keep that knee high. And then finally, for the final position, I want you to go from there to bring your leg slightly behind the standing leg, flexing your hamstrings and your glutes. All right, we're going to do that 10 times on this leg and 10 times on that leg. Then we're going to do it in reverse to wrap up the whole thing. All right. See, a whole bunch of people that just joined in. We're doing live side split stretching, and that's it. We're doing live side split stretching, but we got warm up to go first. So the warm up that we're doing is called hip cars. Follow along. All right, high knee, open up, ankle up, leg down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. If you're just joining in, we're doing this because it helps you to strengthen your muscles at the hardest parts of your range of motion. And the stronger you get in that range of motion, the easier it is for you to command the flexibility that we are working for to earn. All right. We're going to do 10 of these total. I'm pretty sure I've done like 7 or 8. I really haven't been keeping count because I'm trying to talk at the same time. But if that was 7 or 8, then that's 10 and we're done. All right. Let's switch to the other side. Take a deep breath, relax. We need to find balance. If you are not feeling so great about your balance, feel free to reach out, grab a wall, grab a chair, grab a stool, just to give yourself a little hand while we are doing these movements, because there's a lot of moving and you're stabilizing with just one leg. All right. All right. Let's continue. Hip cars on this side. High knee. Open up that hip. Ankle up. Leg down and back. When we go down and back, I want you to flex your hamstrings and your glutes and pull the leg slightly behind the leg that's standing. All right. Let's keep going. We're going to do 9 more. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. We really want to try our best to get those extreme ranges of motion. When I say extreme, I mean extreme for you, right? Don't do crazy things for other people. You're doing it for you, right? So if this is the highest your knee can go, great. This is as wide open as it can go, great. That's as high as you can lift your ankle and then keep this muscle from spazzing out because mine is really tight right now. Awesome. All right. Let's pick up the pacing just a little bit because I was just showing you what each of those feels like, and I needed time to talk, but we don't actually need to hold it for that long. All right, I'm pretty sure that's 10. Let's pause for a second real quick and we'll talk about how to reverse it. We have a whole bunch of people dropping in. We're doing live side split stretching. We do this every single day to practice consistency and to build a little community in the chat. So if you're new and you've never come before, everybody on TikTok, this is a brand new thing for TikTok, but not new for Instagram or YouTube. Feel free to introduce yourself and let me know where you're from and why you're into the side splits. You on TikTok might not even know that this is about side splits because this is my first time running the live on, on TikTok. And so there's a bunch of details that I'm trying to figure out and experiment with. So this particular show might be a little bit confusing. That's okay. We're doing a bunch of stretches live. I'm going to explain them aloud. and we go for about 30 minutes. This one's probably going to run a little bit long because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And yeah, we do it every day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to help us reach our side splits goals. So the count is called splits on the side. All right. We just did hip cars in the front rotation. Now let's do hip cars in the back rotation. So it looks the exact same, but we're going to reverse the order. All right. We're going to flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, and then keep that leg back. Then we're going to lift up so that the knee and the ankle are horizontal, like we're about to kick somebody. All right. From here, I want you to try your best to keep your chest straight. I know when you stick your leg out like this, you want to go full martial arts and kick somebody in the face. It's not it's not exactly how we get the full range of motion out of this. All right. Next, bring the ankle down and keep that hip as wide open as you can. So if I'm facing you, I want my knee to point to the wall directly to my right. And then finally, keeping the knee as high as possible, I want you to bring that knee back forward. All right. I explained it super slow. You don't have to do it that slow. If you ever do it that slow, it's going to really hurt because we got 9 more repetitions. I hope that was enough information. And we can start going. All right, let's go. Back, side like you're going to kick somebody, ankle down, knee forward. Back, side, ankle down, knee forward. The reason why we're doing this for side splits related stuff is because you spend a lot of time in a relatively extreme range of motion in the side splits. And if you want to control your side split, you want to be able to get into that position by choice at some point. And then you need to be able to control your legs, right? If you're a martial artist and you do something like Taekwondo or something that requires a lot of very impressive kicking, then you're probably used to doing some form of end range of motion exercise. And hip cars are basically that on a little bit of a less intense scale. We use it as a warm-up. Let's switch to the other side. And let's keep going. Back, side to kick, ankle down, knee forward. Where was I? We do this as a warm-up, but it also helps to strengthen our muscles at that end range of motion. For most people, this is the highest I can lift my knee. And for most people, this is pretty normal. But if you apply a little bit of force, you can bring your leg much higher, right? This is what I call flexibility. It's something you can get into if there's force applied, but you're not able to do it with pure muscle power, right? I can get it to this high, and then I'm pretty much done. And the longer I hold it, the less high I can go. So I call this mobility. This is what you can reach by choice when you want to with muscle power. And in the side split, a lot of people can fall right into it, especially younger gymnastic-y girls who are super ultra flexible can just get into a split, but not that many people can control the muscle so they can choose to kick really high up in the air, like maybe a dancer might, or like a crazy ballerina who can go like whoosh, and then lift their legs into the sky. Like that's a different type of skill. Okay. All right, lots of talking. We've only done one warm-up exercise. I'm going to come in and check the chat real quick to see if anything is going on, and then we'll continue. Looks like YouTube is going just fine. Sorry, I'm breathing hard. I'm talking a lot and not taking the time to breathe. Hi, Kim. I do a little bit of calisthenics. I'm trying to do more. I'm mostly coming back from not doing any exercise at all for a really long time and trying to become consistent. And I chose to make the side split this thing that I'm really working on. And hopefully my goal of practicing consistency evolves into something that helps a lot of people practice consistency in doing things that they love, in particular the side split, because that's what I'm doing. And this is a follow along. Let's get back into it. Next warm-up exercise is the elephant walk. And it looks a little bit like this. We're going to get into this L shape. And from here, you start feeling that hamstring stretch a little bit. But we want to bend one knee and straighten the other leg and really put a lot of weight into that straightened leg. All right. I call it sassy hips because you can go shake that hip out to put it over the straight leg. And from here, I want you to bring your belly button down as low as you can. I talk a lot about the belly button because it's closest to the hip. If we talk about the chest or the head, you can move the chest and the head a lot without moving the belly button. And we care mostly about the belly button because it's right next to the hip. There's only so much you can move the belly button without the hip actually moving. All right. From here, I want you to grab somewhere between the bottom half of the leg bone and a little bit above the ankle, and help yourself rotate your chest open. So my right leg is straight. I'm grabbing my right leg and I'm opening my chest to the right side. I want you to extend that right arm and look up towards the fingers and see what it is that you're pointing to. Mark that spot and come down and switch to the other side. Once you've marked that spot on both sides, I want you to try and get to that same spot or further for every rep after. We're going to do 10 reps total. And the first one or two, I like to do nice and slow because it's probably the first time all day you've gotten into a position remotely similar to that. And it's good to take that first couple of reps nice and slow. But as we do more, we can start picking up the pace just a little bit because this is still a warm-up. We don't want to get too tired warming up before the actual intense stretches for the side split. All right, let's pick up the pace. This is my number 5, number 6. One of the cons of picking up the pace is we start forgetting that this is a hamstring stretch. So if you suddenly got super excited about pointing your hands into the sky and forgot to feel the hamstring stretch, let's pause and dial it back. I talk about it in this way where I intentionally try to trick you, just to remind you that it's really easy to get distracted by fun, cool things that I talk about. And sometimes the most important thing is that boring thing that we started with, especially when we're trying to practice consistency. It's so easy to want to go chase after the newest, coolest move that just went viral on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. And sometimes you just got to stick to that one actual important thing. All right. We just did 10 elephant walks. Let's move on into the Cossack switch. This is the third of our warm-up exercises, the last of our warm-up exercises. To get into the Cossack switch, I want you to open up your legs nice and wide. Don't have to get into anything uncomfortable. I want you to bring your knee right over your toes and try and get into a low position similar to this. You might be getting stuck a little bit higher up. That's okay. Maybe your knee can't go nearly as far and it can only come to here. That's okay. I want you to feel that stretch in the Achilles tendon, that little bit of a calf stretch. I want you to feel that weight coming in from the hip over here. And I want you to hang out here for just a little bit. We don't have to do any moving. Don't have to take it so aggressively. And I want you to notice on this side, my heel is on the ground. My toes are pointing up. My knees are pointing up and my quads are pointing up. All right. This is super important because when we get to the side split, this is called external rotation of the leg, and we're going to need it. So I'm going to point it out now early for everybody to know exactly what I'm talking about. And then when we get to it, I'll explain it again because a bunch of people will inevitably come on and have no idea that I talked about this earlier. And that's okay. All right. So from here, to do the switch part of the Cossack switch, I want you to switch and keep your butt as low as you can and come over to the other side and get into that same position, but mirrored. If your heel comes up like this, that's okay. That's totally normal. That just means you have less ankle flexibility than what you have available when you're in this position. To help fix that or to gain a little bit more stability, it might help to drop your heel back down. And that might mean you just have to bring your knee back up a little bit. All right. All right. That's the first one. We're going to do 5 total. We're going to go from side to side to side to side. And it is up to you how high you want to come up when you go switch to the other side, how low you want to be. And if you just can't hold it up, you can just try some squats instead. It's all fine. All right. I'm going to count that as 2, and I'm going to do 3 more. 3, 4, 5. All right. We're about to get started with the actual stretches. I'm going to just pop in, read some comments, check some stuff. And we'll keep going. All right. The first stretch that we're going to do is a hamstring stretch. And this particular stretch I really like because it's really good for people who are a little bit stronger, have decent balance, but have really, really tight hamstrings. And I'll show you why I say those things. Let's start by standing up straight, take a step forward with the leg you want to stretch, and throw the hips back. All right, I'm gonna move into the camera shot so you can actually see what I'm talking about. And I want you to try to keep your back horizontal. All right, and the reason why we're doing it this way is because your whole entire upper back is being pulled down by gravity and pulling you into this position where your leg is holding this angle. If you have less flexibility, you might know that when you sit on the ground and you have tight hamstrings, it is really hard to get into a position where you're actually able to reach over and in front, right? A lot of people are in this position, right? The upper back shoots out and behind, and then your head is curled and your shoulders are curled and you're trying to reach forward, and you don't feel any stretch in the hamstring because this whole entire upper side of your body isn't able to get forward. So we do the hamstring stretch the way that we do it because we force our body to be in a situation where the whole entire upper body is being pulled down by gravity into the stretch. All right. So once you're here in this position, I want you to take tabs on whether you feel balanced, whether you feel dizzy and uncomfortable in any way. If you are uncomfortable in any way, stop. Let me know first off, and we can address that. If you are just unbalanced, I recommend you check to see if you can catch yourself on the floor with your hands. Or if you want, you can grab a coffee table, you can grab a stool, something else that you can put your hand out and grab if you're ever feeling unbalanced. All right. If you are balanced and you're fine, I recommend you widen your stance a little bit, get into a nice stable position, move around just to check that you're stable, and then take that butt and stick it all behind you. All right. You should notice that your hamstring stretch suddenly got way more intense, and I want you to keep that in mind. The further back you move your butt, the more intense the hamstring stretch will become. All right. From here, take a couple of deep breaths. Try to relax a little bit, especially if this is the first time you've gotten into a hamstring stretch this intense. I want you to focus on your belly button, and I want you to fold that belly button into your thigh, or you can imagine trying to bring your belly button down into the ground. All right. We're going to do that for 30 seconds. Apply steady pressure and see if we can get deeper into the stretch as we go. I'm going to count us in. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, brutal. Okay, that's the hamstring stretch. If you are watching right now on the live, let me know if you feel the intensity of that hamstring stretch, if you've tried other hamstring stretches in the past, and how this compares to that. I know a blonde guy, do what you do. I see him in YouTube shorts. He doesn't wear shoes and all. Hi, Jordan. Welcome. Thank you for commenting. Yeah, link me to the blonde guy who does what I do. I'd love to get to know the community better. All right, let's keep going. We are 20 minutes in and still on the first stretch. All right, we're going to switch over to the other leg and do the same thing. One variation you can add if you're willing to give it a try is instead of coming into this position and balancing with this right leg, you can drop down to a knee, and feel free to grab a cushion if you'd like, and try to get into this stretch from here. All right. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Hold for 30 seconds, apply steady pressure, belly button to the thigh or belly button to the ground. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, if you did that stretch right, your hamstrings should be on fire and it should feel brutal. All right. Next stretch we're going to move on to is called the butterfly. You might know it. It looks a little bit like this. Looks like how we sit in elementary school. What I want you to do is find a wall, a door, something that is nice and sturdy for you to rest your back on. All right. We want to put our hips, our shoulders, and our head against the sturdy wall, and that will help keep our upper body straight. All right. From here, if you bring your feet in, you'll notice the knees pop right up. I've got probably 6 to 8 inches or 15 to 20, 25 centimeters off the ground. What I want you to do first, because this is all about controlling the muscles, I want you to flex your glutes, and I want to flex your outer thigh muscles, and I want you to pull your legs down as much as you can. And you'll notice mine dropped down quite a bit, probably half the distance. And for the last little bit, I want you to take your hands. I want you to apply pressure now. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. I want you to keep on contracting those leg muscles. And 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oof, relax the hands. Oh, if you did that right, your hips will probably be a little bit tight. So move around a little bit, regain some control, and congratulations, you're done with the butterfly. We're going to move into the third of our 5 stretches. The third stretch is the pancake. The pancake looks a little bit like this. This hand is your upper body, and this hand is your lower body. You want to fold together and look like this. All right. It is really hard. I can't do it. I can't imagine most people on the internet can, but you know, Instagram makes it seem like everybody's got that skill. What we're going to do is going to do a very basic version of that stretch to help us get deeper into the harder progressions. All right. So what we're going to do is get back to that wall that you were just using for the butterfly, and we're going to stick our butt real close to it. We're going to stand maybe about 20 centimeters or 8 inches away from the wall behind us, and we're going to open up our legs nice and wide until it's no longer comfortable. All right. As soon as it's not comfortable, I want you to stick your butt back against that wall. I'm obviously doing it against doors, and I have a curtain behind me, so if I'm adjusting something, it's because I don't want to pull the curtain down and rip it out of the ceiling. From here, once you have this, you have a tripod, right? Your feet are 2 legs of the tripod, and your butt resting on the wall is the 3rd leg of the tripod. From here, there's no way you can fall backwards, and you can only fall forwards. And if you fall forwards, luckily, we have hands to catch ourselves, all right? So from here, I want you to fold at the hips and try to get your chest horizontal. That's the starting point. Well, if you can't get there and you're slightly higher, that's totally fine. That's normal as well. Our goal is to bring our whole upper body as low to the ground as we can. And that's what we're going to do for the next 30 seconds when we hold this stretch. There's 2 things you can do and to get deeper into the stretch. The first one, since your butt is already leaned back, you can try to lift your arms out in front of you, and you'll suddenly feel that this whole thing is way more intense, and those arms will pull you down. You can, if that's not enough, and you feel like this is easy. If you have weights, if you have some heavy water bottles, you can lift those out too and make it much harder. Alternatively, you can grab your legs and give yourself a little pull. and pull yourself down. I want you to try and keep your lower back relatively straight. And I'm going to do my version this way so you can see what I'm talking about. And yeah, we're going to stick the hips back, keep the chest horizontal to start so we get into that nice angle, similar to how we were just doing the hamstring stretch, right? Except now our legs are spread open. And from here, you can lift your arms up and let's do 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. You should feel it in your hamstrings. You should feel it in your inner thighs. I can't remember what number we got to. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, hands down. Catch yourself. Relax those muscles. The pancake is one of the hardest stretches to do for the lower body because it works so many different muscle groups all at the same time. All right, you work these inner thigh muscles called the adductors. You work the hamstrings real deep right under the glutes. And depending on how tight your different muscles are, maybe your glutes are tight, maybe your low back is tight. I need to catch my breath because I talk so damn much. Shake out your legs, relax the muscles. We're going to do an easier stretch for the next one, and then we're going to get into the side splits. All right. Let's see. Checking the comments. Nothing I need to address, so let's keep going. The next stretch that we're going to do is called the pigeon, and to do that, it basically looks like this. We're lifting our ankle up to our opposite hip. We're going to try and fold our chests down to that leg. All right, it looks a little bit like this, except we're going to do two variations. One is facing down, and one is on our backs. I'm going to do the back one first because it's a little bit easier to control, and it's easier to see what's going on. So first, let's get on our backs, and let's take that leg we're going to stretch, cross it over to the other knee. From here, I want you to reach through and pull on that knee that is not crossed over your body and start feeling that stretch out here in this outer hip and maybe inner thigh and maybe at the hip joint. All right. I want you to keep pulling and apply steady pressure and try to get deeper into this stretch for the next 30 seconds. Don't take any breaks because we're trying to stretch. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. I started taking a break, I forgot. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew, relax that leg. And let's switch to the other side. Same thing, we're going to cross the leg. Oh, actually, I said we're going to do two variations. For the other variation, which is frequently called a pigeon, so if you're going to Google it and check form after this, for the pigeon, you're going to cross that leg over to the other side of the body, same as before. And instead of pulling your leg to you, you're going to try to keep your hips low to the ground and drop your chest down over it. You feel the stretch here in this outer hip. And depending on where your leg is, whether it's less bent or more bent or perpendicular, you'll feel the stretch a little differently in the hip. All right, let's get into position. Take a couple of deep breaths, try to relax. Really feel that stretch out here in the glute. And let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we are done with the butterfly. It's time for the final stretch of the evening. We are doing the actual side splits. Everything that we've been doing so far is to prepare the different muscles that get used in the side split so that they're pumped up, they're ready, they got blood flow, and they're warmed up to go for when we actually do the side splits. All right. I'm going to walk us through how to get into two-ish variations on that side split stretch. And the first one is going to be better for beginners who have a little bit less flexibility and don't want to apply too much pressure. The second one is going to be a little bit more advanced, very similar, and will be a little bit better for applying pressure into the hips and hopefully getting us closer to the side splits. I'm going to come in and check the chat real quick. Nothing to worry about there, and let's go. So I'm going to set this up very similar to how we set the pancake up. We're going to stick our butt against the wall, have our feet about 8 to 12 inches or 20 to 30 centimeters away from the wall, and we're going to open up the legs and slowly slide down until it's almost not comfortable. Once you're almost not comfortable, I want you to lean forward into this push-up position. All right, this puts a lot of your weight into your hands and it's no longer on your hips. This is a perfectly valid place to start your side split stretching. If you feel like you're already feeling a lot of stretch in these muscles, in these adductors, the inner thigh muscles, and it's already quite painful, you can just hang out here and try to pull your legs further apart for the 30-second stretch that we're going to do. I encourage you to experiment. And from here, I don't know why I got up. From here, we're going to take it to the next level for people who are interested in a deeper stretch. From here, I want you to externally rotate your legs. What that means is I want you to point your toes up. So your heels are down on the ground. I want you to point your toes up, your knees up, your quads up. I want you to do it on both legs. From here, I want you to slowly walk your hands back. The closer you walk your hands back to your hips, the more weight you'll be putting on to the hips and into the side split. And hopefully, the deeper you'll be getting into a side split position. All right. I'm pretty much as deep as I'm going to be able to get to. Ooh, I'm falling backwards. The reason why I talk about resting your hip against the wall is because now you can't fall backwards. All right. I am a little bit far away from the wall because I have curtains that I want to drag down by having my butt against the wall and crushing the curtains. So I'm a little bit in front of that. If I fall, that's don't worry about it. All right, that's enough rambling. Let's go. We're holding this for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Experiment with this. If your arms are straight, bend them a little bit. See if suddenly you realize you put so much more weight into your hips and maybe you also got lower to the ground. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Walk those hands forward. Relax the legs. Come on up. Oh, that is the first side split stretch. We're going to do this 3 times total. So we're going to take 20-30-second break. We're already in the break if you didn't realize that I'm starting to talk and I'm not stretching. We got 2 more rounds and it's going to be exactly the same. We're going to hold the stretch for 30 seconds. We're going to wiggle a little bit, try to get deeper into the stretch, and then we're going to take a break. All right, I'm going to crawl over. Check to see if there's any comments that need addressing. Doesn't seem to be the case. So let's get back into the next round of side splits. Wow, I'm tired. All right. Same thing. If you are new and you want to be extra safe, I recommend you use a back wall to rest your butt against. Have your feet 8 to 12 inches or 20-30 centimeters away from the wall and open up and drop into a deep, wide leg position. When it is no longer comfortable, I want you to lean forward, put your hands on the ground, get into that push-up position. For a lot of people, you should be able to have a variety of ranges that you can keep your hands on the ground. Um, if for some reason you can't, grab a stool, grab a chair, grab something to help you get a little bit higher off the ground so you can get into this position. From here, we want to externally rotate the legs, which means put the heels down and point the toes, knees, and quads up into the air on both legs. We're going to walk the hands back and do a little wiggle to see if we can get deeper into the stretch. And that's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ooh. All right, walk your hands back, forward, bring your legs together, take a little break. We're gonna rest for 30 more seconds and then do our final side split. I'm coming back over to check to see if there's anything in the chat that I need to address. There's a bunch of people on. Feel free to introduce yourself and let us know where you're from. We are here practicing consistency and trying to build a little bit of a community around practicing and making sure we get progress made towards our goals. In this case, I'm doing the side splits. Hopefully you're interested in the side splits, and hopefully that's why you've been here for so long, to watch all the way to here and do side splits with us. If you are interested in all those things, consistency, side splits, community, feel free to build the community by participating in the chat, and feel free to level up your consistency by hitting subscribe or follow so you get notified when we go live. We basically go live at the same time every single day, which is basically 35 minutes ago. But, you know, tomorrow and the day after. Ooh, I think a bunch of people just joined. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, do all those good things. All right, that's enough rambling. Oh, we've taken enough rest. It's time for the last side split stretch. Let's get into it. Same thing. If you have a wall behind you, step 8 to 12 inches, 20, 30 centimeters in front of the wall. Put your butt back into the wall so you have your little tripod. Spread the legs and drop deep into that stretch. Once it's uncomfortable, lean forward, put your hands down and catch yourself. And if this is enough of a stretch for you to feel really good, or not really good, but you feel that stretch, we can stop right here. If you are ready to go further, you can walk your hands back, externally rotate the legs so that your heels are down, your toes, knees, quads are pointing up. And the further you walk your hands to your hips, the more intense the stretch will feel, because more weight will be going into your hips. If you have done all those things, it is time for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, crawl out of that stretch. Oh, if you are dead, lay down, relax. My hips are on fire. Okay, take a couple of deep breaths. Relax, relax, relax. And I recommend you shake out the legs, get some blood flow, teach the muscles to work again, and roll over so you can come back over to your phone. Oh, all right. I'm exhausted. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining and staying on. We have just done 39 minutes of very in-depth side split exercise, warm-up, stretching. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you are still online that you throw in a comment into the chat so we know who you are, where you're from. If you are interested in participating in more side split stretches and practicing consistency so you can actually make progress towards your goals, feel free to hit follow or subscribe. And get notified to keep coming back. We do this every single day, probably about 40 minutes ago is when we start. And the goal is to build a little bit of community around consistency and side splits to make it much more attractive for you to stretch and come back and get better at side splits. All right, that is it. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. I will see you when I see you, hopefully tomorrow. Bye.